Hello, Lions. You're watching Lions Roar. We're live from Open House. I'm Timothy Olivas. In a few minutes, we'll be checking in with the guys in the studio, but for now, let's start the show. We're here in the library where all the action is taking place. Right now, parents, students, and friends are exploring the campus and talking with the teachers and administrators. In a little while, reps from all of our clubs will take the stage to talk to the crowd about what club life can offer students. There's so much going on here, it's almost too much to take in the limited time we have. Almost.
Welcome to the Vista La Sierra 2018-2019 Open House. My name is Mrs. Leona, and I have the pleasure of serving as principal of these two award-winning schools. The fact that we have a thriving club culture at the Vista La Sierra is very unique to continuation alternative schools. It's something we're very proud of. All the research states that if a student can be connected to school in the form of an extracurricular activity or a club, that he or she will actually perform better and learn more in school. So this is something that we're very proud of, and I appreciate all of our students being here tonight to speak on behalf of their program and their club. Thank you.
But there is so much more going on this week, so we'll throw it back into the studio for now, and we'll be back in a few.
Great job, Tim. We'll see you again in a bit.
Hello Lions, I'm Tanya Ramos.
I'm Jesus Estrada.
I'm George Negrete.
I'm Nancy Guajardo. Lots of things happening, so here's what's coming up.
No more 3-day weekends for a while, but we do have Spirit Week.
Spirit Week starts Tuesday the 5th, right in the quad. ASB is working hard to make this the best Spirit Week yet.
Friday, March 15th is the end of Quarter 3. There's still time to get those grades up, so get to work.
Then on Thursday the 21st, 3rd, quarter grades are out.
Then get ready for Spring Break. Spring Break this year runs Monday, March 25th through Friday, March 29th. Have a great break.
Seniors, are you looking for money for college? Well, there is help. Monday, February 25th and Thursday, February 28th, there's a financial aid seminar for you and your parents at Fullerton College. This seminar starts at 6:30 p.m. You can get help filling out your 2019-2020 FAFSA or DREAM Act application. For more information, pick up the flyer from Ms. Castro.
And like you heard earlier this week, you may be able to go to Fullerton College tuition free. That's right, tuition free college. By taking part in Fullerton College FJUHSD partnership, you can enroll in either the summer or fall, attend Fullerton tuition free. Ms. Castro and Mr. Diaz have all info tuition free. College is a huge win for all our senior Lions. And speaking of wins, we learned last week that Mount Rushmore was in South Dakota. This week we asked you to come up with South Dakota's official sport, and Nathan Rivera got it right. The official sport of South Dakota is rodeo. Yeah! Congratulations, Nathan.
As you know, Fullerton Joint Union has gone to dogs, the drug sniffing kind, to help cut down on drug problems is in our school.
Thursday, we hosted an assembly to answer your questions about just how the program will be implemented. In case you haven't already heard about the assembly, here's what went down.
I would like to introduce Mr. Al Radke from Impact, who will be telling you all about the program that we're offering here.
Good afternoon. Ooh, nice and loud. Hey, thank you. Some of you are happy the K-9 program's here, some may not be, but we're here to not surprise anybody. We're actually here to talk to you about what the K-9 program is and how it works. Once again, my name is Al Radke. I'm with Impact K-9 Solutions. Over there we have Dan Rodriguez and his K-9 Spartacus, or SPAR for short. And again, we're here to talk a little bit about the K-9 program and what it is. So we'll talk about SPAR first, or Spartacus. Spartacus is just like any other drug dog out there, whether it's with law enforcement, military, or so forth. He's trained on your 4 basic narcotic odors, okay? Just like all those dogs, which is marijuana, heroin, methamphetamine, and cocaine. Okay, those are his 4 basic narcotic odors that he's trained to detect, just like all other drug dogs. What makes him different is we call him a contraband canine. Why do we call him a contraband canine? Because he's trained on a much wider variety of odors than just those 4 basic narcotic odors. He's also trained on alcoholic beverages, beer, wine, vodka, brandy, whiskey. If it has a beverage alcohol in it, he's trained to detect it, okay? He's also trained on prescription medications that are frequently abused. Oxycontin, Percocet, Percodan, Vicodin, your opioid-based pain pills, okay? He's also trained on gunpowders, black powder, smokeless powder, and Pyrodex. So those are the odors he's trained to detect, and that's why we call him a contraband canine, okay? And now some students will be like, well, prescription medications, if I'm prescribed like Vicodin or something like that because I have surgery, well, where should it be checked in at? We're going to cover that first. Shouldn't be in your backpack. If you have Vicodin, Oxycontin, Percocet, Percodan, or anything like that, it should be checked in probably at the office or a nurse's station, okay? And it should be in a bottle with your name on it. Shouldn't be in a baggie in your backpack, okay? Some people chuckle on that, but boy, it happens, okay? So it should be at a central location where it's distributed by the school officials, okay? So I'm going to tell you some of the odors he's not trained to detect, okay? He's not trained to detect aspirin, Motrin, Tylenol, Excedrin, or any of those over-the-counter pain relievers, okay? He's not trained to detect that. And why I tell you that is because if the canine alerts to your backpack or your purse or anything of your property, it's not going to be because of one of those items, okay? It will not be because of one of those. Okay. Now let's talk about what makes him great at detection work and how he benefits us in schools and so forth. His nose is about 5,000 times stronger than yours and mine. Some studies say 1,000, some studies say 9,000. I'll go in the middle and say about 5,000 times stronger than yours and mine. But that's not what makes him great at detection work. What makes him great at detection work is his ability to odor discriminate, or to separate odors or compartmentalize all odors. We don't have that ability. We smell whatever odor is the strongest. Okay? Now let me put that in layman's terms for you. If you and I walked into an Italian restaurant and I said, hey, what do you smell? You'd say, I smell Italian food. Maybe some garlic. I smell pizza, you know? Now, Spar had the ability to speak, and he walked into that same Italian restaurant with us, and I said, Spar, what do you smell? And say, I smell the salt, the pepper, the baking soda, the flour, the pepperoni, the sausage, the marinara sauce, the tomatoes. He smells every odor separately. That's what makes him great at detection work. It's not because his nose is 5,000 times stronger than ours. It's because he can separate all odors. We don't have that ability. So how that works in our favor when we go into schools is, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, somebody decides to bring a little bit of marijuana to school. Let's just say a gram of marijuana. It's in their pill container from the dispensary, and they're like, you know what, man? I'm gonna put this pill container inside of a Ziploc baggie with some dryer sheets. Now I'm gonna put that inside of another one with some coffee grounds. Now I'm gonna put it in my backpack. That way it doesn't smell. Because we've all heard that philosophy that coffee grounds will make it to where a dog can't find it. Doesn't sniff it, doesn't smell it, okay? And then in that backpack they'll have their gym clothes, their sneakers, their shorts, their shirt, their books, their lunch. They'll have a bologna sandwich, Doritos, and Coca-Cola. And then to top it off, they decide, I'm gonna spray my backpack or my purse with a little perfume or cologne, just to ensure that it doesn't smell. Well, I'll tell you this, you'll probably have me fooled, you'll probably have your administration fooled, your teachers, because they'll never smell it. But if Spar happens to show up that day and walks into your classroom, it takes about 2 to 3 minutes per classroom for the dog to sniff. All the backpacks and purses, the perimeter, everything in that classroom. About 2 to 3 minutes. And in that 2 or 3 minutes, he's going to go up and down each row. And when he gets to that backpack, in a split second, he's gonna identify all those odors. And all those odors are gonna run through his head. He's gonna say, oh, I smell cologne. I smell bologna sandwich, Doritos, Coca-Cola. I smell textbooks. I smell sweaty gym sneakers. I smell dryer sheets, I smell coffee grounds. Ooh, wait, I also smell marijuana. And he's gonna sit next to the source of the odor, which is gonna be that backpack, or that purse. He's gonna sit right next to it, and that's our cue that there's an odor coming from that backpack or purse, right? So at that time, we'll identify it. Let the principal, assistant principal, whoever's with us know that there's an odor coming from that backpack. And so that's how that works when we go into classrooms and we search, okay? But let's talk about residual odor. Can anybody tell me what a residual odor is? Don't be shy. Anybody? It's an odor that's been there in the past. Yeah, absolutely. It's an odor that's left behind. So let's take that backpack or that purse. If they bring it to school on Tuesday and they had that weed with them, and on Wednesday we happen to show up, but that stuff's not in there anymore, would that backpack still smell like it? Absolutely, it'll still have that residual odor, okay? But we'll break it down even further. Has anybody ever been on an elevator and somebody gets on that elevator and you're like, dang, they smell like cigarette smoke. They just reek, right? We've all been there. That's residual odor. They're not smoking anymore, but they smell like cigarette smoke. The odor's in their hair, their hands, their clothes, all over them. So they reek of cigarette smoke. Same thing happens to your purse, your backpack, your car, your bedroom, your clothes, your jacket, if you're hanging out with people or yourself and you're using marijuana, okay? The dog doesn't know the difference between it being there in the past or it being in there right now. All he knows is I smell the odor, and he's gonna alert to it, okay? We understand vaping is a huge epidemic within our high schools. I would like to say just here in California, but it's all over the United States. Every school here in America has a problem with vaping, okay? Somebody asked, well, does your dog alert to the vape pens with THC? Absolutely. But it doesn't smell to us, but it does to him. Remember, they have such an ability to find minute, tiny odors. We don't have that ability, okay? The whole premise of this program is not to catch you guys with stuff. We take no joy in our dog alerting and the student having something, because then discipline happens, right? All we really ask is, don't bring it here. Don't make it a school issue. Because once you make it a school issue, then it becomes a problem, right? So, without further ado, we're gonna let Spar run these backpacks. We're gonna show you what he looks like when he works the classroom. So, as you can see, he's getting ready to go. He's looking for the command. So as you see, this backpack right here, he's alerting to it. So this is exactly what it looks like in a classroom when we're working. If he gets to a backpack that has an odor coming off of it, he's gonna stop and sit and look at it just like that. Now let me show you what he's alerting to in this backpack. What do we have in there?
Brass knuckles card.
Right? It's brass knuckle. So, on a serious note, what do we have in there? We had a vape pen, right? A THC vape pen. And again, that THC vape pen, it doesn't smell to us. But to Spar, that backpack probably smells like it has a pound of marijuana in it. It's that easy for them, okay? And I'll tell you this, some kids, they'll be like, well, that dog will never catch me. I'm too good. He'll never catch me. The problem with that mentality is, eventually you will get caught. It always happens, always. Because young people like to think that it'll never be them until it is them. Because if they knew it was going to be them, they wouldn't bring this stuff to school, right? So what I'm going to ask you to do is if you feel like your backpack, your clothes, or so forth is going to be alerted to because, one, you're around it, or two, you carry stuff in there, but you don't bring it to school, but on the weekends, and I'll tell you, I hear this all the time, you know, that, oh, well, you know what, I do it, but I don't take it to school. Okay. Well, don't put it in your backpack that you bring to school, because we're going to have alerts to it. The last thing we want to do is have an alert to your stuff. That's the last thing we want. So if you feel like your stuff has been contaminated, make sure and wash it. Okay, wash your backpack. Try to keep it away from any of that odor. Don't carry stuff in there. All right, don't use it. There's truly one way you can always beat the dog, though, and make sure the dog doesn't alert to your stuff.
A bone.
A bone? Anybody else have a guess? I'll tell you if you're right. Yeah. Huh? No. Dog urine, no.
Don't bring it to school.
What's that?
Don't bring it to school.
Well, that's pretty close. Don't bring it to school. So there's one way you can truly beat the dog. That's don't use it, don't bring it to school, don't be around it. Don't make the odor get on your stuff. That's the only way you're going to beat the dog. Other than that, just by being around it, the dog's going to alert to your stuff. Okay? Even if vaping, the odor that comes off of a vape pen may not smell to us, but I'm telling you, to Spar, it's going to smell just like you're smoking a bong. Okay? It doesn't change to him. All he knows is he smells that odor. So with that, what I'm going to ask you, does anybody have any serious questions for me before we conclude? Yes?
There's also something else called nicotine pens. You can smell that.
Ah, good question. A nicotine pen. A vape pen, right, with nicotine. Can the dog smell nicotine? Hey, I'm here to be serious with you, and I'm going to tell you point blank, we do not train our dogs to detect nicotine. Now, with that being said, you know how many we come across every day? Every day we come across nicotine ones. Why? Because they're around other stuff as well. And so we end up catching, I can't even put a number on it, how many vape pens we've come across. Whether it's the Juul, Soren, Smoke, I mean, all different ones. We've come across every one of them. Any other questions? Yes? Great question. She asked, what if your backpack smells like the dog alerts to your backpack and nothing's in there? What happens? You know what? That'd probably be a question for your principal, but generally speaking, when you're talking to me and let's say the dog alerts to your backpack and you have nothing in there, just because you're around stuff, I'll always advise you, just wash it. Clean it up. Keep it away from that stuff. Because the last thing we want to do is pull you out of class. We want you in class learning. Right? We want you in class learning, not spending time with us because you're around it. Okay? Now, as far as the school, if there's discipline on top of that, I don't know. That's going to be up to the school.
If the dog alerts to your backpack and there's nothing found, we will still let your parents know that the dog alerted to your backpack.
Wait.
That's a great, I should have mentioned that. Every school, if the canine alerts to your backpack or your purse or any of your property, your parents will be notified. Okay? And so at that point, it'll be a conversation with your parents at that point. Okay? Yes?
So like, you mean alert them by them saying, like they hit me up saying that your backpack got searched?
I'm sorry, I guess I missed your question.
Like, you know how you have them search us?
The canine?
Yeah.
He's going to sniff your backpacks.
That's why, and if you guys search the backpack, they're going to tell our parents that you guys searched it, right?
Yeah, the administration is going to search your backpack, but if the canine alerts to your backpack, at that point, we identify the backpack, and then we'll look through the backpack, make sure nothing's in there, right? And at that point, they're still going to call home, whether there's something in there or not in there. It's just to let them know that the backpack was searched and the canine alerted to your backpack or purse. Yes?
Is it just going to be backpacks or person suit? Like
Persons?
us, like us. And
No, we will not be sniffing you as a person. So it'll be all your property. So backpacks, purses, jackets, and so forth that's left in the classroom, okay? Yes?
Can the dog smell metal like knives?
Oh, great question. Can the dog smell metal like knives? So, hey, that's a great question because this is going to lead us into another conversation. Thanks for that question. Can the dog sniff knives? No. The dog can sniff metal, but they're not trained on metal because they learn to all different metal objects. But keep this in mind. Do we come across knives often? Absolutely. Okay? And if you have a knife on campus, it becomes a serious offense. I can reassure you the SRO is going to get involved instantly with that. And oftentimes, it's an automatic arrest. Depending on the size of the knife, it's classified as a weapon on campus, and oftentimes it's a felony arrest. So keep that in mind. Yes? I'm sorry? School resource officer, you're a police officer that's here. I'm sorry. Any other questions?
the residue smell, how, like, say something was in the bag a year ago, can the dog still smell that?
Hold on. I'm sorry. Quiet down.
The leftover smell from any of the drugs, how far away can they smell it, say?
A residual odor?
Yeah.
So she's asking how far away can a dog smell a residual odor? That's a great question. I wish I had the answer to that, right? And here's why I don't have the answer to that. Some residual odors may be a little stronger, right? So if you carry stuff in your backpack and you carry it in there often, that residual odor is probably going to be a little stronger than if you're just hanging out with somebody a few days ago. So if you carry stuff in your backpack or your purse all the time, that odor could be pretty strong. And so then the dog's going to probably pick up that odor from a greater distance away. So he doesn't have to be as close. Yes?
Can the canine smell pepper spray?
Can the canine smell pepper spray? They can smell it, but they're not going to alert to it. Okay? Yes?
If I wasn't doing nothing and I had nothing on me and y'all call my mom and she start wigging out, what I'm supposed to tell her?
If you have nothing on you?
I have family members that are older that do that stuff.
Okay.
But like I don't, and if y'all call her and I don't got nothing, like what am I supposed to tell her?
So that's a great question. And in all seriousness, so I'm going to repeat it. So he asked this. If the canine alerts to his property, he doesn't do it, he doesn't carry stuff in his backpack, but he has family members that do, right? And he's around his family members. Okay? That odor is going to get on your bag. And there's a good possibility the canine's going to alert to your backpack or purse. And at that point, the school's going to have to call home just to let your parent know that the canine alerted. Now, like I said, it's going to be a conversation piece that you'll have with your parent. And again, I always ask, hey, if that is the case, just tell the administration that's the case. Because then in the future, we kind of have an idea of why the dog might be alerting to your stuff if we alert to it again, okay? But I again, will always advise, wash your backpack, clean out your purse, do whatever you can to make sure it's clean, okay? 100%. And again, keep in mind, the goal of this program is not to catch kids with stuff at school. It's to hopefully give you an out to go, dude, I'm not going to take this stuff to school because I don't want to get caught up in the mess. So make some great choices, guys. You guys look like very intelligent young boys and girls. I should say, ladies and gentlemen, just make some great choices. That's all we ask. That's all we ask. And if we're on campus and you want to pet the dog, always ask a handler first before you just rush up on the dog. Ask the handler, and if the handler says, yeah, it's okay to pet my dog, feel free, okay? So, with that being said, I thank you very much for coming in today. Hopefully you learned a little bit, and we look forward to seeing each and every one of you. Have a great day.
And now with this week's Principal's Perspective, Principal Leona.
This is Mrs. Leona. Welcome to the Principal's Perspective. We are at the end of our 7th week of the 3rd quarter, and it seems like a good time to review some of our expectations for student behavior that may have been slipping in the last few weeks. In order to properly review these expectations, I invited Mr. Day, Assistant Principal in charge of discipline, to to join me to discuss the main areas where our students are making poor decisions. Mr. Day, what are the main things that you see occurring on campus that you're concerned about?
One of the simple things to be aware of is the hat rule that we have on campus. Just remember, the only hat that can be worn on campus is the La Vista and the La Sierra hats that are sold by ASB. We do allow on rainy days for students to wear any type of appropriate hat to keep them warm and dry. This is the only exception.
Okay, what else are you concerned about?
Fighting. The last couple of weeks, we've had situations come up where there has been physical contact between students, and we've had to move those students off campus. We need to look at the strategies we have in place to avoid physical confrontations. Always go to an adult, myself, Ms. Leona, your counselor, a teacher, or any adult you trust to ask for help to work through these problems before you end up in a fight and you lose your place at this school.
All right. You've talked about hats and you've talked about fighting. Is there anything else you'd like to address?
Yes, vaping and the use of illegal substances. With the legalization of marijuana, too many students are getting their hands on this stuff and bringing it to campus. They're getting caught and losing their place at La Vista. Hopefully, the addition of the drug-sniffing dogs on campus, students will make better choices about bringing illegal substances to school.
Okay, I agree. I'm hoping these dogs act as a deterrent to students making bad choices. Is there anything else you'd like to review?
One last thing. I'd like to remind students that you need to stay in school until your school day is over. Starting next Wednesday, February 27th, anyone getting on the bus at the end of 5th period will need to provide their ID to the bus driver. As a reminder, only La Vista High School students are allowed to take the 5th period bus home. Opportunity students school end at the end of 6th period. If you do not have an ID, you must see Secretary Ms. Herman to get one before February 27th.
Thank you for joining me on the Principal's Perspective, Mr. Day. I hope our students are listening closely, because this is an opportunity for them to start making better choices in regards to hats, fighting, vaping, and ditching. I think it's going to lead to positive change. Okay, that's all for now. Keep making good choices, focusing on your goals and earning all your credits, and I'll see you next week with my newest installment of the Principal's Perspective.
During open house, all the club reps presented info about their clubs. Now with an in-depth look at one of those clubs that you might want to join, it's time for Club Rush.
Hi, I'm Sierra Mitchell and thank you for watching Lions Roar. I'd like to talk to you about NAMI on Campus High School School Club here at La Vista High School. What is NAMI Club on Campus about? NAMI stands for National Alliance for Mental Illness. NAMI Club on Campus is a student-led group on high school campus where students can talk about openly mental health issues and learn ways to support friends and family members who have mental health issues and educate others on campus about mental health and wellness. The goal of NAMI Club on campus is to end stigma by raising awareness that mental illness is not rare and should be treated like any other kind of medical condition. What is the purpose of NAMI on campus? To educate and increase awareness about mental health and wellness, to be supportive of students who are living with mental illness, provide information on school community resources, and encourage people to recognize the early signs of mental illness and work to end the stigma that surrounds mental illness, and create an inclusive, safe, and supportive school environment, and let students know that there is help available if they need it. This is a great supportive group we have here at La Vista High School. I hope you make some time to stop by and visit us every Wednesday during lunch in room 5107. Everyone is welcome.
Before we go tonight, we want to congratulate some truly exceptional member of the La Vista La Sierra staff, your employees of the year for 2019. Our certified staff winners are from La Vista, Miss Palencia, and from La Sierra, Miss Vincent. Our classified staff winners are from La Vista, Miss Hernandez, and from La Sierra, Miss Brand. For very deserving candidates who will represent us well, please join us in congratulating them. Well, that's it from here at the open house.
And that's it from here in the studio. Until next time, Lions.
Roar!
We are the Lions.